What is going on, guys? My name is Aaron, and this is the Game Day Hour. Welcome back to another episode, and today, of course, we're moving on to Week 6 of the NFL season. That's predictions, that's fantasy football. A really bizarre and wild week. A lot of crazy matchups, and it's very interesting. Didn't go so well in fantasy. We'll talk about that in a bit, but this has overall been a very, very interesting season so far. I have not expected half the things that I've seen, especially this last week. Just the amount of upsets there were. Kind of crazy. It's kind of why I'm having a tough time doing these predictions than I was last year. But we're going to get into it. Of course, we're going to look over fantasy football and everything that's going on there. And then afterwards, we're going to be looking over all of the games this week, not counting Thursday, of course, just all the games from here on out. So if you guys are excited for today's episode, and if you are, please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. Anyways, let's get into it. Last week, I lost 156 to 172. Very unfortunate. It was so close. A lot of my players, they did so well. I mean, Saquon Barkley had 19. Javonte Williams had 34. Rashid Shaheed had 32. Quinshon Judkins had 21. Cleveland's defense had 23. Man, Jamison Williams put up a dud. Kyler Murray didn't play super well. And Cameron Dicker was average. And then on the opposite end, it was Patrick Mahomes with the 45. Amon-Ra St. Brown with 20. Debo with 19. Breece Hall with 23. The Colts defense with 44. And it came down to Monday night and it didn't work out the way I was hoping. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm 2-3, but I know I got some working pieces, and that is very important. I'm recording this on a Tuesday. Ultimately, I don't know what I'm seeing on Wednesday when it comes to the transactions I have. But before I get anything going, and I'll probably update y'all when I edit this episode, I have some moves that I want to make. First of all, I want to drop Kyler Murray in favor of grabbing Drake May, who's actually been playing really well this year. Multiple 20-point games, 3 30-point games. He's been very consistent, and I like that. And then with Mike Evans starting to come back, I want to get him over Jamison Williams. I mean, he's been doing nothing. He only had one good game, and outside of that, he just hasn't been that great for me. And everybody's been talking about, oh, Jamison Williams is going to be this amazing thing. It's going to be so great, so cool, and I love it. It hasn't worked out that way, unfortunately. And I've been giving him chances, but even on a high-powered Detroit Lions offense, he's not getting the looks he needs. It's very unfortunate, so I'm moving on from him, theoretically. I'll probably tell you some of the moves in a next segment. In fact, you should see it on the lower thirds of just what has been going on as far as the moves and the transactions, and we'll get to that when we get to that. Let's get to the lineup, the matchups, because this one's very interesting. My opponent has not set his lineup. I got Jordan Love starting, and of course, he's playing Cincinnati, so I have a lot of high hopes there. Also, Josh Jacobs is going to be starting too, which those two I'm very excited to have. Saquon Barkley obviously is going to be starting. He had a really good game against Denver, 19, pretty well. He can obviously do better. He needs to do better. Javonte Williams, man, that guy has been such a great asset for me. I mean, he's been averaging roughly close to like 18 points per game for somebody who nobody had any expectations for. I'm glad I made that trade to get rid of Amarian Hampton, because Amarian Hampton right now is injured, and this guy's just been playing lights out, and he's playing Carolina's defense, which that could help out a lot. I also have Quinshon again. He's been doing very well. 2 back-to-back 20-point games. I'll take it going into Pittsburgh. They're going to really need it. Cleveland's going to need it big time. And then afterwards, we have Cameron Dicker obviously starting, and the Denver Broncos defense against the Jets. So that's what the lineup looks like. My opponent has not set their lineup, but Baker Mayfield is right now what looks like to be their starting quarterback. They have other pieces there too. Christian McCaffrey is one of them. I'm 2-3. I need to get back into this, and I think I found a lineup that could look really good. This is right now the dream lineup I want. So hopefully we can get going. But that's enough of fantasy football. Obviously, there's a lot of pieces that still need to be moved. Wednesday is still upon us, and again, recording on a Tuesday. When we get to that, we'll see what happens there and what the team looks like, and if that's the case, you'll of course see it. But now let's actually get into the NFL predictions. Because of all the crazy upsets, Denver beating Philadelphia, New England beating Buffalo, Jacksonville beating Kansas City, and San Francisco beating LA, my predictions this week were 7-7 again, just right at the 500 mark. I have been having a hard time with predictions because a lot of these games have been crazy, which I like it. I do like the drama in football, and I think even if my predictions are not looking so hot, I have to appreciate that I'm wrong a lot, because that means something interesting is going on. The last year was a little more predictable, which puts my overall record right now at 44-34, which I guess I'll take it. We gotta do better, of course. So we got 15 games we're looking at. Obviously, the one on Thursday night, then the Sunday and Monday night games. So I hope you guys are excited for that. But I want to introduce a new segment. I'm going to be making my power rankings, the top 5 NFL teams currently. And this one's going to be a little bit more of a fluid list. So you're not going to see one week the top 5 teams are this and this and that, and then next week you see 5 whole new teams. No, it's going to be continuous throughout each and every single week, but we're going to be starting it in today's episode. So let's get to the power rankings. At number 1, undoubtedly, it's Detroit. Detroit right now looks like the scariest team. Offensively, they're impossible to stop. So I think that the Lions deserve the number 1 spot at 4-1. At 2, I have Buffalo. They had a bad loss to New England, but that generally does happen where they play very close and sometimes lose on primetime at home. They still are very powerful overall. Josh Allen is still a great quarterback, and I believe he'll have a bounce back week either this week or next week. It's going to come, obviously. Number 3, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, the loss wasn't as bad, but they overall have not looked that great. They've been playing a lot of close games. It's nothing super special as far as, score and margin differences. That's why I'm putting them currently at number 3. Number 4 is Tampa Bay. I just think that Tampa Bay, even though they're barely winning their games, they're winning them in the clutch moments, and they barely lost to Philadelphia, which puts them at 4. And at number 5, I have Indianapolis. Indianapolis has killed every single opponent, has barely lost to the Los Angeles Rams, who do look extremely good outside that game against San Francisco, which was crazy. And so that's the top 5. Jacksonville and San Francisco are looking in. Pittsburgh is looking in. Those are right now some of the teams in the top 5. But yeah, top 5 is Detroit, Buffalo, Philly, Tampa Bay, and Indy. I want to know what you guys think about that, and if you disagree, just let me know in the comments below. But now it is time to get to the predictions. Let's get started with this. Over the sea in London, second London game in a row, we have the 3-2 Denver Broncos and the winless New York Jets. The Jets looked bad against Dallas. That Dallas defense finally came alive, and that just shows you the dysfunctionalism of the New York Jets. It's not that great. Denver, on the other hand, a big win in Philadelphia, a big time comeback, and a big time upset. So Denver is walking into this matchup with so much positive energy, and the Jets are nowhere. This is easy. Give me the Broncos to win 23-10. I do not believe in the Jets at all. They have the talent, they have the pieces. It just does not come together in New York, unfortunately for them. And Denver, you got one of the best defenses in the league. You got some great offensive weapons. It's going to be a long day for New York. Sorry, Jets. Next up, you have the 2-3 Arizona Cardinals and the 4-1 Indianapolis Colts. The Cardinals just got embarrassed. You blew a big lead to the Titans. Really, Arizona should have been the worst team this week. I just thought that Baltimore getting blown out by Houston was just super embarrassing. I could not overlook that. If it wasn't Baltimore, it'd be Arizona for sure. As on the other hand, Indianapolis absolutely destroyed Las Vegas. Obviously, that should have been the case. I thought the game was going to be a lot closer, but the Colts overall are just a very high-powered offense with Daniel Jones. I'm very impressed with Daniel Jones this year. He has been absolutely phenomenal. He right now is my leading candidate to win Comeback Player of the Year without question. And with this matchup, I see a demoralized Arizona Cardinals. I see a pumped up Indianapolis Colts team. Give me the Colts to win 31-15. I do not trust Kyler. That's why I'm dropping Kyler Murray. I don't trust that team anymore. I don't think Arizona has what it takes to win. So I'm going to take the Colts in this one. Next up, we have the 3-2 Los Angeles Chargers versus the 1-4 Miami Dolphins. I don't have any words for Miami, but I also don't have any words for LA. This is, I don't like how these teams are coming in this matchup. Miami offensively should be doing very well. They're 1-4. They have not played impressive at all. And then you lost to the Panthers. I have no idea how that worked out. This doesn't make any sense for me. But the Chargers, I mean, come on. Where's the momentum? Why? I understand you have a horrible offensive line. You got to do a lot better than that. That was just a bad performance against Washington, and I just don't understand what's going on with the Chargers. Coaching wise, they have what it takes. Talent wise, they have what it takes. But right now, the offensive line's an issue, and something else is going on, and they're just dropping 2 games in a row. To the Giants, that one was horrible. Washington, I kind of understand. They're a pretty good team. I will still take the Chargers in this matchup to win 23-15 because as much as I'm not liking what I see from LA, I have no trust with Miami at all. How does anybody have trust with them? So I'm going to take the Chargers in this matchup. I think defensively, they'll be pretty solid. Hopefully, they can move the ball back and forth and protect Justin Herbert. But if they can't, I mean, then I have nothing else to say about these teams. I'll just be super confused. Next up, we have the 3-2 New England Patriots and the 1-4 New Orleans Saints. Congratulations, New Orleans. It was a great matchup against New York. I understand it's the Giants, but still, something was better than nothing. And Rashid Shaheed had a play that really helped in fantasy for me, and that was nice. But the Saints overall, great performance. Good job. On the other hand, New England, you walked into Buffalo, you took down Josh Allen in prime time. I'm pretty impressed. I'm happy with what I'm seeing. Stephon Diggs has started to slowly wake up, and Drake May's getting there. He's looking a lot better, and I like it. It wasn't the greatest game for him, but a win in Buffalo, that is a huge momentum builder, and I believe it's going to pour over into New Orleans, who still has a lot to show, a lot to prove, and right now, I'm not going to see it in this matchup. I think the Patriots will win 26-21. New England, watch out. That team's slowly starting to wake up. It's getting there, just very slow. Next up, you got the 1-4 Cleveland Browns versus the 3-1 Pittsburgh Steelers. A little bit of some news. Cleveland just traded away Joe Flacco to Cincinnati, so he's going to be the Bengals quarterback going forward. The Browns moved with Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel had a lot of bad throws, but I think he had an okay game. Really, the one thing about Cleveland that is super exciting is Quinshon Judkins. That man right there is really starting to make me very happy. And that's somebody who was drafted in the second round. A lot of people had hope coming out of Ohio State. Now he is Cleveland's offense, and he is the real deal. And I cannot wait to see what he does for the rest of the year. He's on my team, so I'm excited. As far as Pittsburgh goes, Aaron Rodgers has had a really good start to his stint with Pittsburgh. And with Lamar Jackson currently injured and Baltimore at 1-4, with Cincinnati having nothing to play for really at 2-3, and then Cleveland, sitting at 1-4, Pittsburgh can easily run away with this division, and I think they're going to run away with this game. I believe that Pittsburgh's going to win 26-16. It's in Pittsburgh. Rodgers is on fire. It's going to be really hard. Only one thing on your offense for Cleveland that's really worth anything right now is Judkins, and outside of that, you have nothing. Give me the Steelers. Next up, you have the at 500 plus 1 tie Dallas Cowboys versus the 2-3 Carolina Panthers. Dallas was electrifying. Defensively, their best defensive game of the year. Offensively, Dak Prescott threw 4 touchdowns. He looked incredible. And there's no doubt the Cowboys were one of the teams that I was thinking to be the best team of the NFL that week. I still gave it to Denver, but I don't regret that decision. I'm very happy with Dallas. On the other hand, Carolina, big win against Miami. I understand Miami has been underperforming, but you got to get what you got to get. And that brings Carolina really close to 500. So if the Panthers can really start to ink out some of these wins, that's a big deal. The problem is now you're facing a high-power offense Dallas Cowboys team. Even with CeeDee Lamb out, George Pickens is a big name. You had this one guy named Flournoy who had over 100 receiving yards, and Javonte Williams has become a workhorse back, 135 rushing yards in that game. Great for Dallas. They have all the momentum. Give me the Cowboys to win 34-20. They're still going to give up some stuff on defense, but I think their defense has started to turn it on a little bit. Throw some blitz packages. Play a little more man. You do not have to play this weak zone defense. You can get to the quarterback and you can play one-on-one. It works. This is a very intriguing matchup that I think you guys should actually try to watch out for. The 3-2 Seattle Seahawks, the 4-1 Jacksonville Jaguars. A humongous win for Jacksonville over Kansas City. You were down 14, you went to the wire, you had the clutch touchdown at the end. Now Jacksonville is fighting with Indianapolis right there in that position. I'm very excited for them. Seattle, you lost to Tampa Bay, but it was a good matchup. At many points you had to switch leads, you had the lead for a bit, and then Tampa Bay took it over you. This is going to be a really tough game for Jacksonville because Seattle's offense is actually very impressive. You got Seattle with a pretty decent wide receiver core. Jackson Smith-Jigba has been playing very well this year. Sam Darnold's also been playing very well, but I'm very excited about this Jacksonville defense, which has just been playing lights out. A good performance against the Chiefs. That pick six all the way, that was amazing. I am going to take the Jaguars in a high-scoring matchup, 35-34. I understand I said some things about the defense. I still think that Seattle's offense is very high-powered, but it's going to make a lot of opportunities for Jacksonville, and I think Jacksonville will pounce on it. So I'll take the Jaguars to win this matchup. Next up, you have the Rams and the Ravens. The Rams are at 3-2 because they could not beat a very unhealthy San Francisco team, which is just suffering injury left and right. They still couldn't do it, got punched out at the 1-yard line. Tough break. And on the other hand, you have a Ravens team that just got done getting smashed by Houston. You didn't have Lamar Jackson, and they dropped 44 on you. Pretty pretty bad. I don't like it. These two teams, the Rams are clearly the better one. I mean, even if you put Lamar Jackson, I love what the Rams have been able to do offensively. Puka Nacua has been a super great weapon. Kyron Williams has been playing lights out. Matthew Stafford's been having a great year so far. He's up there with Jared Goff and Dak Prescott and some of the better quarterbacks right now in the NFL. This one is easy. Even if you bring Lamar Jackson back and he's questionable right now, give me the Rams to win 34-21. The Ravens defense has not been playing very well, and that's another issue outside of just the injury to Lamar Jackson. And you got a Rams offense that can just pounce on that all day long. Go with the Rams. Next up, you have the 2-3 Cincinnati Bengals versus the 1-1 Green Bay Packers. Cincinnati, I said this earlier with Cleveland, they just recently got Joe Flacco, and you put Joe Flacco with a really good wide receiver core, and maybe some magic happens. I don't know. You're still playing a really good Green Bay defense. Okay, they weren't good against Dallas, but they're generally pretty good. I mean, they held Cleveland to 13 points in a loss. They're a good defense, I promise. And offensively, I love what they have. They need to be better, though. But it really helps because Cincinnati, even though you have Flacco coming in, I don't like that Bengals defense. I just don't. I think that they're pretty pathetic. I'm going to take the Packers in a big one. Give me Green Bay 34-8. Yeah, no, that's not a that's a pretty bad score prediction if you're Cincinnati, but I like the Packers big time in this matchup. This might be the hardest prediction I had so far, but with the 4-1 San Francisco 49ers and the 4-1 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this is the dilemma. San Francisco keeps winning, and it makes no sense. They're so injured it hurts, but their backup quarterback, Mac Jones, has been playing lights out, and he's been having some very impressive games, and I've been very proud of him. He should have been drafted by the 49ers back in that draft when they got Trey Lance. I think the 49ers are starting to understand why, which is good, but you still got all these other injuries. I mean, Ricky Pearsall, you still got problems with Jennings, of course, Ayuk and George Kittle on IR. And really, it's just the Christian McCaffrey show, and you know he's volatile to injury. And then you have Nick Chubb, and then you have Nick Bosa. I mean, the Niners are crippled, and yet they keep winning, and that's the hard part. Then you got Tampa Bay, who has won all 4 of their games in the last few minutes. Tampa Bay is a very clutch team. They offensively are better than San Francisco currently. Defensively, you can make an argument San Francisco's better. I have no idea. I think the Niners play better defense overall in many cases. With the clutchest team and the most hurt yet successful team, I had to go with the 49ers, but I'm not comfortable. 21-20, San Francisco. In these kind of games, this is where Tampa Bay should shine. San Francisco got a way of winning football games they have no business winning, and it's just hard to predict at that point. Then we got a pair of 1-4 teams. We got the Titans, we got the Raiders. The Raiders just got destroyed. The Titans made a pretty impressive comeback against the Arizona team, which has just been pretty disappointing lately. I have to say though, when I look at like both lineups and I really try to make sense of it all, it's really hard to say who's the better offense. I mean, who do you think is better, Cam Ward or Geno? Geno's thrown more picks, but Cam Ward has not looked impressive at all. He's made some pretty bad mistakes. Then you look at the running back room. Yeah, Tony Pollard is pretty good, but he's not good as a solo back like someone like Ashton Genty, who I don't think has gotten off to the hot start that most people thought he was going to get to. I think that he can do better for sure. And then I look at the wide receiver core and I feel like Tennessee should on paper be better, but they're not playing that great in some cases. And then, I mean, the Raiders take it to the tight end room and you got yourself a pretty good tight end. They use them correctly. I would say this. I'm going to take the Raiders to win 22-19, but at this point, I don't know. I don't know what to view of Tennessee after that matchup, and the Raiders, on paper, they should be better, and they can be pretty competitive at times. We're just going to have to wait and see. I'll take a gamble with Vegas on this one. That was an unintentional joke right there. I didn't even expect to make it. And then Sunday Night Football between the 4-1 Detroit Lions and the 2-3 Kansas City Chiefs. A pretty bad start for Kansas City, and then just throwing that game away, choking it away. It was tough, but Detroit, on the other hand, has been hell on wheels. I mean, 45 against Chicago, 38 against Baltimore. I mean, they are unstoppable. They are a tough team to beat. And this is the kind of team that can walk into Arrowhead and really show what they're made of. With Kansas City, I don't know what the issue is. I feel like this team should be a lot better, but I'm not seeing the same Super Bowl spark that I should be seeing from them that I used to in the past years. And that's starting to be a little concerning if you're a Chiefs fan. And now you have Detroit walking in. I mean, that's just horrible. Give me the Lions to win 27-24. I have no doubt the Lions can come and perform, and I believe they will. I believe it's going to be a long night for Kansas City. It will be a close game because it is in Arrowhead. Detroit, they got something. They're a tough team. They're the number 1 team in my eyes. Next up, we have the 4-1 Buffalo Bills versus the 2-2 Atlanta Falcons on Monday night in Atlanta. I'm going to just say right off the bat that I think Buffalo's game was a fluke, and I think that they're better than that, but they just have these games where they sometimes just don't play up to standard and are just kind of frustrating. And Josh Allen did not have himself a really good night. Really bad performance by him, but I think he'll bounce back. Playing an Atlanta team that's very inconsistent as it is. I mean, one day they look like they're really good, and the other day they just get shut out by Carolina, and then they somehow win against Washington. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for them. I'm going to say that Buffalo is going to catch them on their bad inconsistency and win 28-20. It's going to be a close game, don't get me wrong, but I think Buffalo is going to perform very well. Josh Allen's going to have a comeback game, and it's going to be pretty good moving forward once more for the Bills. And then the other Monday Night Football game is between the 2-2 Chicago Bears and the 3-2 Washington Commanders. First of all, Washington got their boy back. They got Jaden Daniels, and I always view Jaden Daniels better than Caleb Williams as it is. I do think Williams has been improving, and you can definitely see the talent and the potential is there. And he has all the pieces that he needs to succeed. I just don't think he understands just how hard it is to play against a player like Jaden Daniels, who has so many weapons at his disposal and is not afraid to use them. A really good wide receiver room on one end. You're in Washington. Washington is trying to compete with Philadelphia and Dallas. I believe that Washington, not only are they going to win, they're going to win big. 30-13. The last time these two teams played, it ended on a Hail Mary in which Washington won, and that spelled doom to Chicago. So Chicago could have a chance to get back to where it all began when they fell apart, and maybe they can get back to winning, but I just don't think it's going to happen because Washington is just that good. And that is all the predictions for week 6. And that'll do it for today's episode. I thank you guys so much for watching. If you do, please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. And go follow me on all my social medias. I see many more comments coming through on TikTok. I try to read them at times. Sometimes I don't, sometimes I do. But if you send comments on YouTube and my shorts, I'll definitely be able to read them. Doesn't mean I'll always respond, but I'll try to respond as much as I can. So thank you guys so much again. I hope you guys have a great day. Take care. I'll see you in week 7. Peace out.